Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is Patrick here, Eggnoc Poker. A new video today, and we're going to be carrying on with our 2NL to 200NL series, and we are now on 16NL, which is the next video on the ladder. So, just before we start, as always, massive shout out to everyone who's been watching the videos, liking, commenting, subscribing, joining the Discord, etc. Welcome and thank you to all of you who have been showing support. To anyone who are new to the channel or have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and press that subscribe button right now. And also, bit of information, we're now streaming on Twitch quite a lot. We will be streaming even more. So we're going to be doing the new bankroll. It's not a bankroll challenge. It's literally just a new bankroll for me. I'm just going to be absolutely blitzing shitloads of hours on Twitch. So twitch.tv/Eggnoc. All the details in the description below. Getting all the boring stuff out of the way before we begin. So leave a follow on that, please. And if you're interested, all the VODs for those Twitch streams will be on there. They are not subscriber gated. They are for everybody. They're just free, fun content, which is pretty cool and easily accessible. So, as always, thank you guys. Let's get cracking. So, 16NL. Darkness, my old friend. This is probably, if I had to guess, the most bizarre stake on, I suppose any site probably in the universe. 16NL is a weird machine. I don't quite understand. I feel like it's a weird hyperflux. You've got the normal micros that are pretty nitty. A couple of people who are sort of over aggressive and whatnot, but you know, you start climbing, getting a bit stronger. 16 is just weird. I don't know. You've got some weird and wonderful things happening in 16 from what I remember. I don't think it's nit infested. I believe it's just weird. You'll get people doing some weird things. So we'll probably be in for a treat and some wacky spots, I would think. So hopefully we can get into some trouble. So now we're moving. We're still at microstakes, aren't we? But 16NL, we're still going to be pretty cautious as always. But I think we're going to be a little bit heavier on theory. Like we're just going to play fundamental. I don't really think I've got much, if any, information at all on most of these players. I don't really play 16NL here. So I haven't for many moons. So this is all completely fresh, basically, to me. You can't see them on my display, but I have got HUD stats, but I don't really have any data on basically any opponent here. So we will see how we go, I suppose. Well, we do start off the bat with a 3-bet. Here you go. Here's your first wacky and wonderful thing. So we've got a someone who's 3-betting to 10. So I would put us in a bit of a blend already. I think versus 10, I'm going to mainly favour folding, even with the cold caller with a recreational behind. I think I'm just going to let this go. Not going to be mixing 4 bets. I mean, you could consider overcalling, I suppose. But against 10, it's so big that it's like... Do I really want to just put in 10 big blinds out of position in a 3-bet pot multi-way? Not really super attracted about 4-betting against that size either. Although it is video content, isn't it? It would be pretty fun. I think that'd be a bit of a mistake. This guy looks like he's got the stake well covered. Look at the despair face. The meme. Ace King suited. It's a pretty good hand last time I checked. Please don't fold. 3-bet would be good. No. Well, we'll take it. We didn't get sucked out on. We didn't lose. A win is a win. We'll be doing a small amount of 3-betting with ace-4 against the cutoff and the bottom. Against the small blind, we will be continuing mostly with a call. Some 4-bet, 3-bet. Rolled low, let's call. Flop a pair on a mono. Villain should supposed to be betting quite small. He does. I think it's pretty easy call. Not going to be doing too many shenanigans on this texture. Suppose we could with some other holdings, but with an ace kicker, I think call and play some turns. Probably doing a lot of folding. Very easy fold. Bottom pair, no club, no draw. Easy fold. Ace King again. Let's open that one up. No action again. I already know how this is going to go. Let's fold this King 3. And the 10-7. 10-6, no good. 10-7, no good, but it's in the right direction. No, we've gone back down. Pocket tens. I'd like to go more, please, dealer. I think 11 would suffice. Snap fold. Ace 5's good enough for me. Five seven suited, not really good enough in the cutoff, although we're easy fold versus open. I forgot to take off the cursor. I suppose it's not the end of the world. It's not really irritating. I'll try to keep my cursor off the screen. Maybe that would be a bit irritating to see it sort of wheeling around all over the place. Easy fold. Nines. I'll open that one, please. Some interesting avatars on these ones. We've got Danny Dyer over here and this gentleman who looks like he's enjoying himself. Crabman John. Limpy limpy. Let's open this one up. 5, maybe 6. You know what? Let's go in between. Oh, it's good to know there's plenty of fun players here, which is a good start. I feel like this is going to be a four-way pot somehow. Unless we get back raised, that'd be funny. We do? We're not entertaining it? Is that really a thing? 2023, people are still limp back raising? Come on. Queen Jack suited. Yes, I would like to open this one, please. Lots of passive fishies calling all over the place. I suppose it's a good sign. 8-5 bought 4, so we do connect to this. I suppose we got the only thing we don't hit is as much as the 6-7 suited. Against full pot, I don't really like the idea of raising directly against this size with just the queen flush draw. Also, we block some of the worst flush draws. I think I'm going to go with a call. Turn is optimal, so we're going broke one way or another. I think I'm probably going to be going big or checking here. I'm probably going to be doing a decent amount of checking back. See if we can get some value from sets. 2 pairs, straights, worst flushes, obviously. Let's put some money in. It's interesting to see someone lead pot multi-way and then just check fold. I mean, I look quite strong to bet there, but I don't have to have a flush. I suppose I could also maybe block, but I think I'm just going to be greedy. Come on, don't give us a walk with aces. Come on. You don't have to be cold decked, but just a nice continue would be fine. Okay. Pretty decent board for the UTG. We're going to have a lot more ace-king than this dude. We're going to have more... I suppose I say more. Both villain and hero have king-queen, but I suppose... Villain's supposed to 3-bet a bunch, with like, well, some anyway, with the king-queen, but it's probably less likely here. I think we're going to start with a small bet for value. You could potentially check back with these suits, but I just think we want to start building a little bit of pot. Pocket kings, okay, well, we'll take it. If you're going to throw the deck at us, we will happily take it. Although not a walk, please. No. Considering how passive, like loose passive these games seem to be already, that we get like basically no value from our big hands. It's sad. We'll not be doing anything snazzy with the 5-6 off. Our villain whacking out the 3x. Loving it. King 5, not really good enough to open. Oh, we have got a pretty big nit here. Let's get him marked. Although I won't be opening this. Wow, okay. I've got old information on these players. Yeah, very tight players here. Fold. Potentially thinking about over-opening the small blind against someone who's folding like sort of 70-80% of the time with no 3-betting. So potentially an over-open. Ace-king. Wow, okay. Well, we're in good stead for hitting the leaderboard, that's for sure. Aces, kings, ace-kings all over the place. No, not interested. Sag. Come on, guys, we need content, man. It can't be just having like aces and kings and ace-king and getting like 0 action every single hand. King deuce suited. Could do some 3-betting if you want to. No, we'll not be 4-betting though. Easy fold here with the 10-7. This guy is starting to look like a bit of a loosey-goosey, although we don't have loads of info, but he's starting to look that way. Fold the 7 deuce. Pocket 3s, we need quite a high roll to open this. 84's not going to cut it. It's very close. I think we need like 90. I think we need like 10%. It's like 10% of the time or something like that, I believe. Folding 8-4. Pocket 4s, we'll be playing this one. We'll be calling. Check. Going to be doing a lot of folding without a club. Facing snap check back. I mean, our hand mostly just wants to check here. I think I would be doing some betting with a club, but I think 4s is just going to be a check. So the question comes, like, I'm probably going to turn my hand into a bluff here because we still lose to, like, I was going to say 7s as well, but like hands like 5s, we lose to like I suppose 9s without a club, things like that. So we're trying to target like 9s without a club, like ace-9, things like that. Sorry, 8-9, things like that. That villain's checking down. I don't think 4s is good enough to check the river. I think we're probably just losing there, especially on the 4 clubs. Queen Jack, we're not really going to be 3-betting. Just kind of want a hand a bit more like the King Jacks in terms of the offsuits. I suppose you could have in a smidge of Queen Jack, but mostly a fold. King 7 could be one of the worst offsuit King 8 you can open if you wanted to. Let's go ahead and do it. I think it is literally King 7, if I'm right. Recreational goal, so I don't need to be trappy. I get called by loads worse. I'm probably just going broke against a 25 big blind stack. I think I'm just going to start with a bet. I think you could probably push sizes, but because we're against recreational, so pure exploits, so I'm just going to go ahead and start betting a little bit. And I'm probably going to be checking about the turn. Don't know if I'm calling river with this hand. I suppose. I mean, we now lose to a 4. We lose to we lose to every king. Although saying that, we've got kings up with an 8, so we're chopping unless he's got king 8 plus. Villain can have 6-7, but that came in. He can have a flush, that came in. We lose to most decent kings. Rec doesn't turn like a 5 into a bluff. I suppose you could argue for being bluff, like you might have to call here. I think if I was going to call, I'd probably have a heart in my hand, but it's quite easy to be beat there, I think. Might consider calling versus another opponent, but not turning my hand into a bluff, obviously, and I think it's very, very marginal to call. Not going to be 4-betting UTG with King Queen off. He's People love their massive, crazy sizes. 9, 10x, ridiculous. Easy fault, 10-6. Let's mark up the shorter stacks. We will be opening the ace-9 offsuit. I was going to say, hoping for the fold or a call, a 3-bet. We cannot do anything against with an offsuit ace-9. It's interesting. It feels like, I mean, we've only played a very small sample, right? It's hard to detect whether this is. I feel like you've got a couple of people who are sort of just way too aggro, and then you've got a bunch of like really, really tight passive recreationals as well. Pocket jacks though, that's a good start. Mostly a call with some 3-bet, I suppose, against the hijack. Now I think we have to squeeze pretty often. This guy's playing a 36% VPIP as well, even though it's a small sample. Jax is doing pretty well here. I think let's go ahead and squeeze this. Debating size. I suppose this is probably fine. So I was going to say, we've got we're the only person we're potentially worried about is the hijack, but the button flat we're doing very well against with the jacks. I don't think he's got queens in range, so we've basically got the nuts. Moving the 10-7 suited. This guy looks like a bit of a mental case as well, although it's again a very small sample. Easy fold. With a bigger sample, we might have some adjustments with like opening ranges and 4-betting, but we're not going to have those samples today, unfortunately. Easy fold with a 3 deuce. Ace king again, 3rd time's the charm. So this guy 3-bets to like 5 million, opens to 3x, but then opens to 2x on the button. Interesting. Still going to be picking our standard 3-bet size with the ace king. Hoping for the 4-bet. Nope, we don't get it. I suppose maybe he min-open because he's got a short stack rec, but the guy's got 50 bigs. He should really just kind of open normal size. Fold the 10-6. Easy fold ace-9. Although this one's a better open. I'll open this one. I'm going to ISO the limp. Let's go 3x, I suppose. We're normally min opening, so just add a big blind. This guy looks like an absolute aggro machine. But again, it's a small sample, but... So against recreational, like, I'm kind of trying to dodge the donk. The donk is the scary part against these limp spots, I think. Let's start with... I suppose you'd go like a bit bigger here. Let's go half pot. I think against a rec, I think half pot's kind of nice. Against a check min raise, so we still beat 7-8, we still beat 8-9, and we have a heart in our hand. So we can still do some shenanigans. So I'm going to float this price. So we don't improve. So now I'm kind of confused why villain would check. So I'm not, because it's recreational, I'm not expecting like a double check raise and so on. It's really odd that he check raise checks. So we block a bunch of 10x. I kind of feel like this guy has just got something not super strong, honestly. I don't think he check raise checks at 10. So I think I'd rather just go ahead and keep betting now. I'm probably ranging this guy on like 4s, 7s, something like that. That I'm going to probably have to barrel against. I'm gonna go half pot again versus the recreational. That's why I'm picking half pot. I don't want to nuke. So 4s and 7s was what I was ranging him on. I would expect him to though lead. I don't think he would check the river with a straight or a set. We could just lose to the nut flush draw. I mean, now I'm kind of changing my mind, and I'm starting to believe that this guy's got a 10, like some really like sort of booky 10. I suppose we lose. This is really awkward because we just don't win anything. We lose to the nut flush draw even. I think we just have to bluff this river. I really, really do. I don't really rep a whole bunch, but like I'm just really hoping this guy's got like a 1 pair type hand that I'm going to try and make fold. Oh, this is really, really dodgy. I just know, like, I'm not saying this is a really good bluff. This is a terrible bluff in theory. I'm only doing it exploitatively, okay? So don't, like, go, oh, well, you shouldn't bluff that combo. You're blocking folds and blah, 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 blah. You don't drop a 4. Yes. It's just against a recreational. You just kind of have to read between the lines. He check raised, which did show strength, but I had good blockers, had a really good price in position, and we can still play the hand somewhat well in position against the size. Villain doesn't have a protected check. His check snap call is usually very capped and weak. His range did somewhat improve on the river, but recreationals usually tend to lead if he had a straight there or like a set of 7s. He doesn't really tend to like snap check, in my opinion. That's why we just turn our hand into a bluff. But we lose even to like 7-8 of hearts. We lose to ace 3 of hearts, ace deuce of hearts. We just can't win, is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, we don't rep anything, but that's if I was against a regular player. I'm not trying to justify a bad bluff. I'm just saying this is why exploitation is really important. Is if you're against a recreational player, there is no rule book. There are no rules. It's just if you think you can try and win the hand against like a capped weak range, for example, then just do it. If you're against a regular, don't do dumb shit. Like, don't, like, for example, against check raise, I'd mainly just fold king jack off there with a heart, for example. Then that's it done, you know. So that's it, pretty much. That's the thought process. Cold call. It's a bit annoying. So we've got a really tight player who calls our 3-bet, and the whale, well, perceived whale who kind of overcalls. Pretty good board for us. Sizing, I suppose you could probably pick a couple of different sizes on the Queen X. Let's go 40%. So we don't block any Queen X, which is a little bit annoying, but with our hand itself has very good backdoor equity. So this is an interesting one. So against 2 calls, I suppose it either could have a strong queen and I unblock them. Either it could have 8s and 4s. I suppose 6-7 isn't completely out of the question with the guy behind. I'm going to start with a check on the turn. I don't want to bet here and get jammed on. That would kind of suck. And I don't think that either villain has loads of fold equity. Now we have just a clear fold. We'll keep the eye on and see if the other guy calls to see what they had. It's an easy fold here with ace jack of clubs. Scary river for a very tight player to be leading though. This almost feels specifically like 7s, if I had to guess, or maybe like a set of 8s or set of 4s from the tight player. If I had to guess, I don't think he would bet ace queen. I mean, he can. He should. You know, you can also bet ace queen, but I don't know if they do that multi-way. Maybe they do. Pocket tens. You could do some calling, but mostly 3-betting, I suppose. And I'm not going to be 4-betting here. I'm going to be folding the 10-3 and the Queen 8. King 5 off, we're not doing too much. We could have some 3-bet and folding versus the small blind, I suppose. Not versus the gut off though, no thank you. Folding the Queen 5. And the Queen 5 again. Ace 3. please. About the worst offsuit ace-x we can open. You wouldn't even open this pure. Mr. Ninja is thinking about it. No, he's not interested. What about the despair dude? Not interested either. Folding the jack-8. And 10-5. Queen 9 not really good enough against the 3x. Well, it's not good enough anyway, but you'd start having like some queen 10s and queen jack offs and so on against the hijack there with some 3-bet and fold and call. Queen 9's a bit dusty. Although Queen 10 is a nice easy open in the cutoff. I keep forgetting these new hotkeys, so sometimes I'm trying to go like 2.3, 2.2 or so is kind of like a size I'd mainly choose. So against a small blind call, I suppose they are very condensed. They actually can do some leading, but I don't know if that's why they're leading. They could be doing anything, but villain can absolutely lead here. It's not completely odd for a villain to have quite a strong condensed range here, which could have 10s and jacks and 4s and other bits and bobs. I think we just have a call with queen 10 off, especially with no spade. Don't think I'm going to be raising, not folding. If villain needs a continues turn, we just have a fold with this combo. There's not really anything to do. Don't think we can continue with this hand. We just have way better, especially when the flushes come in. We have all flushes, we've got all jack X, we've even got some better 10x. Like we can have like ace 10, for example, especially with a spade combo offsuit with a spade of the 10, or like 9s with a spade, 8s with a spade, king queen 8 9, so whatnot. You know, there's different types of hands. King queen off with a spade and so on. So we're doing a lot of checking on this board, but against a recreational, it's like I kind of just want to start building the pot. So I'm just going to go ahead and bet. 6-7 comes in, but it's irrelevant. We're going broke with a hand as strong as king 4. So the question is, how do we get the money in? I mean, I suppose you could check, but I just don't want him to check back a 5. I think I can just get some value from a 5. So let's go about half pot against a 5. We'll just jam river as well. So against raise, like, you know, yeah, it's annoying. Villain can maybe have outspeed, but it's kind of like we're just too strong here, and he's also very short. So I think with 14 behind, it's just going to be a jam, and there's nothing really else to say. So he is bluffing here, but it's, you know, it's got 14 bigs behind. It's kind of if I call here and weird scare cards against an 8, who knows? Just maybe get all the money versus a draw for the what's he's got left behind. If I can speak English properly. Let's fold the queen 6. We'll play for another, we'll go for 35 minutes, another sort of 6 or 7 minutes for this one. It's unfortunate. It's not been. I suppose like I don't really edit. Like I mean I probably should. I mean in terms of content, I probably should like edit the videos either for highlights or to make the videos a bit more interesting. So I apologize, I suppose, for that. But also, I mean, if anything, these are natural spots. So, you know, take something from them, and you know, it's all still relevant, I suppose. The king jack off is extremely questionable, but. Apart from that, pretty standard. I mean, if in doubt, bluff, to be honest. Doesn't have to make too much sense against most of the sort of capped ranges. Anyway, checking the jack 3 off. I don't think I want to voluntarily put money in the pot. We do have a couple of backdoors, and villain doesn't rep huge strength by limping, but villain's ranges are so wide. We've got a backdoor straight and a club, so I actually don't mind betting this. Like leading and doing like turn barreling and so on other combos. So we don't pick up any extra equity. We were looking for a 9, we're looking for a club, we're looking for a queen, a jack, etc, etc. So just going to check fold now with the jack 3. I'm not going to be double barreling. I was just trying to get him off some random shenanigans. However, when the club comes in, now, I mean, blocking 3-4 is completely irrelevant. We do block some like king jack, jack 10. It's annoying to block jack 9, but against a hand like 9-10 or something from villain, we can try and make him fold. So I am going to lead with an overbet, targeting like 7s or like, you know, some kind of weak 10, no club and so on. And easy fold versus the raise. Villain's probably just got a flush. But I think we played it pretty well. I like our size. I don't like going like half, 2/3 and just kind of pricing in like 9-10 of spades or something, especially against a rec. Going to be folding the 10-4 offsuit. Folding king 6. Nice and suited, you could do some calling. We've rolled very high, so we'll be calling this one. Mainly call on the high roll, I think. Really not loving this huge size. I mean, we're not going anywhere. It's just a call, really. Like, villain's got a lot of strong ace-x. I think we just want to call and play turns and realize some equity. We've got a lot of really good turns. Not like that one, though. So villain's range and nut edge improves even further. Do we turn a 10 into a bluff? Like, not really. We could still beat 9s. We can still beat 7s and things like that. Also, it's just, we just want to check back. If this guy's got a hand like ace-7 suited, we want to realize and see the river. If villain checks, I was going to say he bets, so it's a fold. If villain checked a third time with backdoor hearts coming in, it's quite close between checking back and potentially bluffing. Because a 10 with no kicker kind of, I mean, again, like 7s and 8s are in that we block 9s from villain. So you only beat like deuces through 6s. But I kind of expect villains to keep bluffing those. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like a really shit 10 is not good enough to check, is what I'm saying. I probably would have bluffed that river, I think, with that kicker. Yeah, I think I would have probably bluffed that river if he had checked the river. Queens, one of the last hands we're playing. We get 3-bet. So I'm just going to tag this guy as a fun player because his size is absolutely atrocious. Not to sound entitled, but it just kind of is. I suppose we get like UTG big blind dynamic. We're doing a lot of calling with some 4-bet. I've rolled 42. Let's go with a call. It's not the worst board because obviously if we were losing to 1 king, 2 kings blocks more combos. So if anything, 2 kings is not too bad. I don't think we have. I mean, we block king queen suited, which is a good start. I think we just have a clear call, though. There's not really anything else to say. I don't really want to sort of bomb and fold out any potential bluffs. And obviously, we're still losing to villain's sort of nut edge. We're still beating 10s and jacks. If he has those, he shouldn't really have 10s and jacks. But this guy's a recreational player, so he can have anything. So it's not really relevant to range this guy that appropriately. I think we're quite high up, though. We still get value from potentially 9s, 10s, jacks if he has them. So I do want to go ahead and bet. Size against a recreational player, I really like half. I don't like really small. I don't like really big. Because, it's just... if I had a more absolute hand, I'm playing my hand face up. I think I'm value betting, but I don't want to go huge and sort of fold out any potential hands. But can we value bet the river? I don't want to bet really tiny and get binned. I don't think this guy is going to call. Against a rec, I'm tempted to go 10% against like 10s and 9s, but I don't even know if he still calls, and obviously jacks improves. We probably have a bet though, to be honest. I'm going to go 20% and target 9s and 10s against a recreational. I think queens is too strong of a hand to not bet. Okay, so he had the other queens, which is fine. So against I'm not being funny, but against a better player, like that's kind of a naughty size because you could just get binned potentially. Not always, but I think against a rec, it's just we just kind of know we're ahead. Like if he's got jacks, he's got jacks, but he can still have like 9s and 10s, and sometimes they call with ace highs, and sometimes they just have 7s, and like if you can sort of eke that extra little bit of value every single spot, I think queens is just about good enough to do it in. I wouldn't be surprised if you just do a lot of checking, maybe in theory, but with the jack. But I think we should really value bet that river. You know what? Let's keep going. I feel like we haven't had a massively sufficient amount of spots, so let's probably just keep going. We'll go for 40 minutes. So 5 more minutes, guys. We'll go for 40 minutes. We'll go for 40 minutes. Mr. Ninja's thinking about it. Not interested. Folding the queen 2. 10-7, not good enough for under the gun. Nor is 8-7 off on the bottom. Nor the Jack-7 off. We could have Jack-7 suited. Ace-3's basically a pure 3-bet against the small blind. Or very high frequency 3-bet at least. Ace-2's off, Ace-3 off, very aggressive. As are some of the other weaker offsuits. Or a lot of the offsuits, to be honest. I'm going to go 3x against our... Actually, to be fair, I normally go 2.5, so we'll go 3.5 on the button. Set one big blind over whatever we would normally be opening. It's just kind of enough. It's like, I'm not going to go 5 or 6 and bin myself the times I get 3-bet. I'm just going to go a size which just gets value and also just has enough. If he's just got like King 9 off and just, you know, folds, he folds, you know, it is what it is. So maybe there's a more optimal size than that, but just going to keep it pretty standard. 8-9 suited, I like opening from the cutoff. Like 7-9 suited plus, those kind of hands are more often opened. We're not sort of super thrilled with having most of the connectors in the cutoff though, but 8-9's okay. So again, we've got a recreational, so we're just going to play very exploitatively now. So I'm just going to start with a small bet, and if he's got something that can't call, it can't call. I don't need to worry about sizings. It's the thing, it's like I just keep ranting on a lot about strategy and so on. If you've got a recreational player, you just throw that all out the window and you play your hand exactly face up to get the most money. Against that villain type, if you're playing against a reg, then you play more GTO. It's just that simple. Seven deuce off, probably not going to be doing too much with. I actually don't know versus... I mean, this guy hasn't got a protected limping range, but I'm just wondering if you could go really big with a hand as bad as 7 deuce off. Probably not. It's probably a disaster. Our hand is so terrible here, I think I just want to go ahead and bet and just try and make him fold like random stuff. He's obviously not folding a pair. He may floated once with like Queen Jack or something, King 10, 8, like Ace 7, something like that. So I'm going to bet again. I'm going to give up on the river though. I'm going to bet big and give up on the river if we get called, because I just think he's going to have a pair a lot, like a 4, 6s, something like that. I don't think he floats ace high. This is a really weird river because now we ranged him on a pair. So this is why I'm kind of going back on my thought process again. I don't want to check back and always chop. The question is, can this guy have a 4? And I think he can. Can he have a pair? I think he can. So I'm not going to try and bluff him off a chop. Well, he could also have quad 3s. But I think he can have a 4 there or a pair a decent amount of the time as well. I don't know if he calls ace high on the turn. So I don't like trying to bluff him off a chop. I think it's actually a mistake. Quads is a good hand though. Last time I checked. His check has induced the donkey on the big blind to bet the flop and turn, so good check by villain. Oh, we're back. Last minute, guys, and then we're done. Folding the ace 5 offsuit. King 4 suited, we can open this one. Won't be 3-betting if this guy opens. This guy kind of looks a bit like a bit of a tag. Open the King 4 suited. Can't continue with the King 4. Won't be 4-betting that. Easy 4 Jack deuce. We'll play one more hand and then we're done. That's how we'll play it. Any kind of like proper hand. There you go. This is our next hand. Open these Jack. Doing a lot of folding, unfortunately, if we do get 3-bet in any position though. Small blind call. Again, villain can actually lead. It's completely viable to actually lead in the small blind. I don't know if he's doing it for that reason, but he absolutely can. Mostly calling. We can do some raising with a heart, I suppose, most of the time. Can still just beat, like... I mean, the thing is, it's tough because I don't know how tight a 16NL player's small blind calling range is. Like, I would think it's very pocket pair heavy, like, if I had to really guess. I don't really know how much 10x this guy has. I mean, we still have a gut shot. The question is, do we beat hands? Like, we still technically beat Queen Jack of Hearts. We still technically beat King Jack of Hearts. We have a direct straight draw and 2 overs, so we can't really think about folding, at least yet. So I'm going to call for half price. Interesting river. Villain wants to bet. This is a really, really, really terrible size for Villain. So now Villain's saying he's got 2 pair, a set, or a straight. Or like King X of Hearts. Maybe like Ace 10 of Hearts. We unblock like Queen Jack of Hearts. He doesn't do this with it. I mean, he might do this with a 10. If he was a really good player here and he was just betting here with like Queen 10, then he's a god. Against this population, I feel like this is just not a bluff enough. Especially this size. It's just... yeah, I guess we just fold, to be honest. You could have King X of Hearts, 10X of Hearts, I suppose, as well. You can still have good hands on the flop as well. I think it's just a fold, to be honest. Right then, guys, we're done for 16. Wasn't super interesting, unfortunately. I suppose we had a couple of kind of marginal spots, nothing too sort of sexy or interesting, but, you know, maybe 1 or 2 spots where we kind of found ourselves in exploitation, which was okay. You know, maybe we could have done... we could have done a little bit more and find some more content, but it is what it is. As always, guys, thank you so much. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Again, with the Twitch, as always, as we said before, twitch.tv/Eggnoc. Description's in the link below. All the content on there, all the VODs are live, from the live content are free and available. So check them out, use them, have fun with them. And not sure when I'll make a new one, either to... when would I do 25? I don't know if I'm around tomorrow. It'd be tomorrow or the day after, probably, for 25NL, and we'll be going back over to... well, we'll decide. We'll either be GG or Stars. We'll find out. I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.